Hey guys, Jason Shafor here, and we get people all the time asking us, what's it like when it snows in Flagstaff? Most people want to know what it's like, how bad the storms are when it snows here in Flagstaff. So today, we actually have some snow. We had school get canceled today. We had about 12 inches. So I'm going to take you for a ride around Flagstaff and show you what it's like when it snows. So stay tuned, and we're going to get right into it right now. What's up, everybody? Jason Shafor with the Shafor Real Estate team here in Flagstaff, Arizona. And if this is your first time on the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about eating, sleeping, living, and playing right here in Flagstaff, then make sure you tap that subscribe button so you get notified every time that we do a new video. And honestly, we get people reaching out to us, calling it every single day, that are relocating here, and we absolutely love it. So if you're thinking about moving, relocating, or coming here to stay, make sure you give us a call, shoot us a text, shoot us an email. We want you to know that we got your back when it comes to moving right here at Flagstaff, Arizona. So today I'm gonna take you on a little adventure, see what it's like when it actually snows here in Flagstaff. So we had about 12 inches of snow in the last 24 hours. School got canceled. They actually canceled it last night. So I'm downtown right here at our office, and it's right here on Humphreys on the main drag, which leads actually up to Snow Bowl. So this road was packed this morning. I'm gonna flip the camera around so you can kind of take a look here, but it's snowing pretty good out. It's been snowing like this all day. We had about 12 inches. The road's pretty slick. We got some traffic. Got the ski rental, the board shop right across the street. So I'm gonna take you on a little drive around town. We're gonna hop in the old Tacoma and just take a ride and see what it's like. Jason Shafor with the Shafor Real Estate team here. All right, everybody. Well, we're at the office. We're in the truck. We're gonna go just do a quick drive around town and see how the roads are. Kind of give you a preview, kind of what it's like when it does snow here in Flagstaff. So I'm not a trained professional. I wouldn't recommend doing this recording and driving at the same time, but hey, we're gonna do it anyways here. So we'll try to take you through the ride downtown and then hop on the interstate, so you kind of get a view of exactly what it's like when it does snow here and getting around town, what the roads are like. So we got some pretty whiteout blizzard conditions right here. The high school's over there. You can't even see it right now. So I'm gonna kind of go down the roads here in Flagstaff. So one thing is, all the roads are, it's really coming down good. So a lot of the roads are maintained by the city, and the city does not use magnesium chloride. They only use cinders to put on the roads. And so they don't burn off, they don't melt down as much. They get a little more ice packed. Right here we're on Humphreys. This road is a little more ice packed. As you can see, it's about as white out of conditions as I've seen it. These are really tough driving conditions right now, for sure. We're gonna truck on through here. We'll get through this downtown, and yeah, it's been a pretty awesome day. There's a lot of people that, since school got called out, they just took their families and the kids, and they already headed up to the mountain. I imagine this road's gonna get a little bit busier here in the next hour. But a lot of businesses will just shut down when we get a big snow like this. The town just kind of slows down. A lot of local shops, even the big chains, they'll just shut down due to weather. That's something that's really just started in the last couple of years. I know growing up here as a kid, there had to be 2 or 3 feet of snow on the ground to shut the school down or anything. But it seems like anymore, if there's 4 or 5 inches, school gets shut down, businesses shut down, Everyone just calls it. So here we are. We're coming up on downtown Flagstaff here. The roads aren't too bad right here. I'm going pretty slow. I'm taking it easy. I am in 4-wheel drive, so that's almost something that's a necessity. Driving and living here in Flagstaff, you're gonna want a 4-wheel drive vehicle for sure. Just getting around, just in the wintertime, it makes it really nice and a lot safer. So we're gonna turn on to old Route 66 here. So now this road is actually maintained by the Arizona Department of Transportation. So you'll see a difference in the road here, as you can see, like on this turn. It's down, it's slushy because they actually put snow melt on those roads. So the city doesn't do it, but the state does, and it makes it a lot safer, especially driving on the interstate. And one thing is also, when you're going on your commutes in the morning, most of the roads that are going to be the interstates, Route 66, the main arteries in town, the snow plows are always on top of those first, and they're constantly, you can see now we're down to the street, to the asphalt here. So not bad. They've done a really good job here keeping it safe and cleared off. I mean, there's a foot of snow here. You saw at the office and back there, that whiteout. I mean, this isn't bad at all. So the town, the ADOT does a really good job keeping the roads clear. I know they work all through the night to get all this done and cleared out for everybody. So not too bad coming down here. Certainly. Mike and Rhonda's the place. We're going to be coming up on campus right here. Here's a big intersection at Butler. And we're going to take it down to I-40. Now, one thing to remember, a lot of the wrecks actually happen, or a lot of accidents will happen in the neighborhoods because all the plow trucks will be out plowing the main roads. So they're really not the last priority. There's not as much traffic in the neighborhood. So sometimes, depending on the snow, if we get 1 or 2 feet, the plows, it might be a day or two before they get into some of those streets in the neighborhood. So if you're way tucked back in an area or in a cul-de-sac, I know I've lived in a cul-de-sac before, and sometimes it'd be 2 days before they actually got snowplow back in there to plow us out. And it wasn't that we couldn't get out. We just would drive over the snow in our 4-wheel drive vehicles. But it's just something you want to keep in mind when you're moving here, is they do, a lot of people will complain they haven't hit my street yet, but it's usually because they're out here trying to keep these main roads safe where there's more traffic, which makes complete sense. But yeah, it's coming down pretty good right now. We're supposed to get another couple inches through the night. I would imagine we're FUSD, the school districts, they do send out a text notification to all the students that are enrolled now. So if they do call school the night before or the morning of, you'll wake up, or the night before you'll get a text notification on your phone that'll let you know, hey, school's closed for today. Now if they don't close school, there's 2 other options that they do. They will do a snow day schedule, which is a 2-hour delay, so that they can get the plows out on the roads to get it cleared out so the kids can get to school, or they just make it a regular day schedule. So another thing to keep in mind. So there's other options. If they don't cancel school, then obviously they have school, or there's that 2-hour delay that they will sometimes have in place also. So now we're driving down here. Coming down the main drag campus here on the left. Discount Tire. And right now the road's not too bad. The temperature outside, we're looking like we're 24 degrees, so it's pretty cold with the wind out there. It's pretty cold, and tonight I imagine these roads are going to get super icy. Another thing too with the snow here is it kind of depends on what type of snow you get. And if obviously if you're from somewhere where it snows, where you've seen the big wet heavy snow, or sometimes we get the light cold dry snow is what I call it. Packs down. It's not as heavy. It tends to be a little bit different when you're driving on it. So the wet snows doesn't seem to get as icy, but it can get slushy, and you can kind of, if you get in a big pile of slush, you can kind of get out of control. So you got to be careful, and that cold, dry packed snow will actually pack down and freeze up and turn to ice. Sometimes the most dangerous times driving at Flagstaff. Last week we had just a little half-inch dusting overnight, and after people had driven on it in the morning, early in the morning, when I was heading to the gym, it was like black ice, and so you had to be super, super careful when you were driving on it. So not too bad. So now we're going to be coming down, we're going to be getting on the interstate here. Milton turns into I-17, so we're going to be, I'm going to get on the interstate and get off and do a loop on the interstate just to show you guys exactly what the interstates look like during a snowstorm. This is about as bad as it gets, as far as, I mean, when it comes to a big storm in Flagstaff. You know, we get, seems like in February we always get a good snowstorm and about a foot or so, and the same thing you can almost bet in December, in that first 2-week time frame. December, I'd say 15th to 25th, we always get a 1 to 2 foot dump like this. Now that we're 2 months later, a lot of the snow we're getting, it's February 23rd today, so a lot of the snow will be melted off. You know, here it'll melt pretty quick just because the angle of the sun's changing so much. And sometimes it's not uncommon for us to get a snowstorm even into, you know, I've seen it snow into April. We've had a, 12, 18 inch snow into April, and it will, it'll be melted off in 2 days. So it depends on the time of year. Closer to the winter solstice, obviously, the longer it's going to stick around. So we're going to get on I-40 here and make this curve. This is one you really got to be careful of right here. This, I've seen cars actually slide off the road right on this curve right here. So you got to be really, really careful. Driving right now, doesn't feel too bad. Like I said, they do the magnesium chloride, the ice melt here on these roads. You can see it's kind of slushy right here. It does a good job of keeping the roads dried off. So that's something that ADOT did. They started doing that about 2006, 7, so about 15 years. I know growing up here, they didn't used to do that, and they always use cinders. And that's what the city uses in town. And they don't use as much because those little small cinders they put on the road, they get plowed off, and then they end up in the sidewalks and the landscape. So they try to be pretty minimal with the cinders, so you want to be extra careful. All right, so here, now we're on I-40 right here, the freeway of Flagstaff. It's really not too bad right here. We're still going slow. Everyone's being pretty cautious. I'm going about 35 miles an hour right now. So it's not too bad. Person in a car in front of us, little 2-wheel drive car, does pretty good. But another thing too is sometimes it's right here, as you can see where I'm driving, sometimes a lot of times it'll be ice packed where the cars have driven. Sometimes it makes it nice just to go on the outside where there's where no one's driven and it's fresh, because you're fresh snow, because your tires will actually go down and sink into the asphalt there. But not too bad. I'll have to make another video too, coming up with all the good sledding spots here in town. If I was going to recommend something just off this video, definitely check out the public golf course, or the private also, Aspen Valley, and what's the public course here. But I grew up over there, and there's tons of sled hills on the golf course that you can park and walk to. If you drive through those neighborhoods, you'll see 4 or 5 cars parked. You just want to park there and follow the golf cart paths, and usually you'll come up on some pretty good sled hills to come up in here and do sledding with the kids. One thing is, there's also the Fort Tut Hill. They have a snow play area there. A lot of people, they shut a lot of them down off of 180 on the way to the Snow Bowl, just because it was It's getting too crowded. Actually, 2 weeks ago, a family was up from the valley, and they had their 11-year-old daughter was crossing the road and was hit and killed. So we're trying to eliminate that. So if you are coming up from somewhere and you want to snow play, please stay off the main roads. We don't need any more tragedies, that's for sure. Just coming up here to play in the snow. So this is pretty good right here. The road's still pretty slushy. Like I said, it's almost 5 o'clock, so these roads are going to be icing up pretty quick here. So if you got errands to run or go to the grocery store, you got stuff to do, you want to make sure you get it done before that sun goes down, because this will get pretty slushy tonight. But not too bad. So we're going to get off here at Butler. We kind of just did a big loop, and kind of drive you through some of the neighborhoods so you can see the difference, because this isn't bad at all. Usually you'd have a good mountain view of Mount Eldon right there, but we got a pretty good storm in here. It's got a pretty good whiteout, so. Alright, let's get off right here. Get right off on Butler, Little America, and I'll take you guys we'll just see a little difference of what it's like in some of these neighborhoods as far as what the snow looks like. But they did a really good job of the storm clearing it out, so you're definitely not stuck in your house like a lot of people think. You know, people see images of 4-foot snowbanks and think that's what Flagstaff's like when it snows, but this is a good snowstorm, and I mean, we've got a few worse, but this is a pretty bad storm. So if this isn't too bad and you think you can handle this, then you're gonna have no problem living here in Flagstaff. You know, a lot of people were sharing on social media, just kind of took the day off with the family and the kids, out playing in the snow, sledding, doing all sorts of fun stuff. So that's one good thing about living in a small town like this. That small town feel, just everything kind of slows down. Days like today, stay home, be safe, drink some coffee, sit by the fire, all that kind of fun stuff. So you can see right there how the road just flipped. So this is ice packed right here because they don't have any magnesium chloride on this road. So now I'm going down Butler, making my way towards Fox Glen and 4th Street here. We'll kind of take a little ride through Fox Glen and Elk Run just to give you a preview of exactly what that looks like when you're living here. But yes, you can see the road. There's no cinders on this road. It's 5 o'clock. People have been driving on this all day. They've had some plows go over it, but there's a good sheet of ice on there. It's pretty slick right now. You always want to keep your distance from people too when you're driving in the snow. You never want to slam on your brakes. You always just want to tap them. Even if you have anti-lock brake system, you always just want to give it a tap. Another fun thing to do if you really want to, how I learned how to drive really good in the snow, actually, we're getting really close up to it. It's where I went to high school. And you just want to go find a big empty parking lot and just go and kind of spin out of control a little bit and figure out how you can steer into it and gain control of the vehicle when it does come out of control, because there's just times when it happens when your vehicle will spin out of control and you got to regain control. One way I always learned was just going up to a big empty parking lot and doing donuts and spinning and getting out of control. And I can tell you, just from doing that kind of stuff kind of helped me on a few emergency situations when I did spin out of control. So you can see the big snowbank on the side here. Quite a bit of snow right there. yeah, high school's right, well, middle school now, but big parking lot right up there. Some city plow trucks down here at the park taking a break for a second. These guys usually work 12-hour shifts, and so if you're ever running around town and behind one of them, it'd be nice, don't honk at them. They're working hard. I've snowplowed before when I was younger, and it's not an easy job, that's for sure. And they've done a really good job at keeping it safe and keeping the roads clear for people. So now let's take a look at the neighborhoods and what it's like. So you can see the main arteries, what you would think with, you know, I-40, a lot of people are a little more nervous to travel on it, but usually they're the safer ways to go because they're going to be cleared out. And this is where you get into a little more dangers when we start getting into some of these neighborhoods. So we'll make a left right here. We'll kind of enter into Fox Glen and take a look at what it's like. Fox Glen Park over here. Plow trucks, blades. Right. And always carry an ice scraper with a long brush on it, because a lot of times when you go into a place, you'll come back out 2 hours later and you'll have snow all over your car. So you want to make sure that you have that ready to go to clear out your car when you get out. That way you have good visibility, like the windshield and the hood right here. So actually they've done a pretty good job. They've got through this neighborhood already, it looks like a couple times, which is decent. It's still very, very slick here. Looks like they've gone through here once, done one pass, but like that road hasn't even been done yet. So take a ride up on this, some of these other streets, and they haven't got hit quite as much. So another thing is, if you're in an area like this, in a neighborhood, you are responsible for clearing off your sidewalk. But this is what I'm talking about too, is you come up in these cul-de-sacs and you can see none of this has been cleared out. So these people right here, you gotta have four-wheel drive when you're back in here, or you just gotta keep rolling over it. So just something to consider when you're in here. We're gonna do a little off-roading. No problem with a four-wheel drive truck, but as you can see, some of these side streets and cul-de-sacs, you know, if you're buying a house in here and all you got is a couple two-wheel drive cars, you know, it's something that you want to consider. You might, you know, make sure you get your groceries and all your stuff a couple of days before, because you might have a hard time getting your vehicle out. So that's just kind of what it's like when it snows in Flagstaff. I thought I would take you guys on a drive around town just so you could kind of see the roads safety-wise, see what town's like, see what it's like. And it's not that bad. It's not as bad as most people think, as far as you know, not being able to go anywhere or do anything. But I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. And if you haven't, I wouldn't recommend recording yourself and driving with one hand all the time. So hope you enjoyed it. We'll catch you guys on the next video for sure.